Yo ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a new video of This is Gamelord. Today I can do the second part of the Grey Eminence preview series. Today we will talk about the population and countries, and we're gonna start with the population. At the core of Grey Eminence will be the people, both collectively and individually. And Grey Eminence is gonna try to model the people's life from birth to death. Like mentioned in the previous video, each tile will have its own population. This population will be broken down into segments based on age, social class, culture, religion, and gender. Grey Eminence will have a demographic model. This model will accurately simulate the various processes that can occur on a certain population. Children are the foundation of the population in Grey Eminence. They won't be divided in any segments until they grow up. Depending on the cultural discrimination and religious intolerance, children may be raised differently. Every month, a fraction of children will grow up into adults. Throughout Grey Eminence, you will see the adulthood go from slavery and serfdom to more the modern concept of slavery. Nomadism will be pretty much spread across the globe, and they will also slowly but surely convert to modern citizenship. And also an interesting thing Grey Eminence is gonna try to do: if you conquer a piece of land, adults might renounce their faith under extreme conditions, but learning a new language and adopting a foreign customs is something a few can achieve. Like I said earlier, adults will be divided in different classes, but will also be divided in gender. The reason is only women can bear children, and there will also be a little segment for elderly that will be more for the late game. The reason Grey Eminence makes so many segments is so they can get a better simulation. They can make a disease that only affects children, while others to affect only the elderly. And then you will also have this feminine death of infant immortality, and that of old age. And you as a player can interact with the people, like said in previous video. Grey Eminence will be designed to top-down interaction, so you will have strategic decisions over micromanagement, and where you can enact various policies, from funding the emancipation of serfs or the agglomeration of cities to forced resettlement and mass expulsion. The effectiveness of such efforts depends on your country's bureaucracy or military capabilities. And since you have different classes of people, your elites and general population may disagree what you're doing, and they will give you a hard time for that. And with anything said about population, let us now go to countries. With countries, we're gonna start at government forms, because the country will be divided quite a lot in that, because that would be quite important for your country, and there will be a lot possible in that. At the highest level, you can define a country by its form of government. Grey Eminence has 32 different government forms, defined by two related parameters: source of legitimacy and distribution of power. Source of legitimacy is pretty self-explanatory. It tells us what a country's population and elites consider important when evaluating their ruler's legitimacy. The four potential sources of legitimacy are dynasty, religious, electoral, and tribal. Countries with a dynasty source of legitimacy are monarchies. How could I mess up that? Damn. Monarchies are the most common government. The religious source of legitimacy is tied quite closely to religion. With regards to government form, this source of legitimacy dictates that the country's ruler must be a member of the clergy. Rulers of countries with an electoral source of legitimacy get authority solely through the outcome of an election. The final source of legitimacy is tribal. It affects societal structures where kinship and belonging to the particular culture were prioritized more highly than dynastic ties. Damn. It's not harsh sentence, but I managed to fuck it up big time. The second determinant of government form is distribution of power. This parameter tells us who a country's power holder should be. It says should because the reality of a country's power distribution might diverge significantly from what the law says it should be. The options are autocratic, oligarchy, and democratic. On the autocratic power distribution, a country's ruler is the sole legal authority. Of course, the elite and population might still wield significant de facto power, but the ability to exercise it through legal means is limited. As a player guiding an autocratic country, you'll want to be very careful with who you allow on the throne, because in some cases you might even prefer to go through usurpation and civil war than serving the predilection of a just ruler. The oligarchic distribution of power is the most common one in the 1300s. It grants one of the country's elites enough the jure power to act as a counterweight to the ruler, usually manifests in a assembly, council, or parliament. And the final distribution of power is democratic. It involves granting the jure political power to the population and is closely linked to the rise of constitutionalism and political party. And there is a little fourth distribution of power. More will be said in a other dev diary. The second part of countries will be the law. Many individual aspects of a country will be broken down into different laws. Each law has multiple options that affect how particular mechanics in a country might work. In 1356, most countries have just over 30 laws, with each around 3 options on average, but the game progress will be a lot more you can unlock via technology. Variety of laws will allow the player to make each country feel unique to play. I won't say a lot about laws because it's a lot of the laws itself and what it can do and what will happen. If you want to read yourself, I will leave a link to the dev diary. So the laws will be divided in, like I said, multiple options. One of them is tenancy. It determines what rights are offered to a country's peasantry. So you have 4 available tenancy laws. For the population are serfdom, peasantry, free tenancy, and abolishment. The investiture law has also 4 options: head of faith, local clergy, local laity, and state. And there are three options for slave law: forbidden, soldiers only, and officers. If you want to read more about laws, be sure to check out the link of the dev diary in the description down below. And that will be it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I will see you in the next episode. If you want to see the next episode, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you get a notification when the next episode is online. And join my Discord to be notified when I upload anything. I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.